I've got Lindsay there. He's my memory factor. Hello, everybody. Lovely to see you all. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader. And today I'm talking about something which I think I can talk about with real authority because I am the lady that started this whole thing off. And do you know what? It's stunning. It was 22 years ago that the very first, what was called Win a Mini, before there was any mini to be had, that I created this whole concept. So I'm coming from over 2 decades of experience, having done thousands of these in every type of location, whether it's a car boot sale, whether it's a county show, whether it's a tiny little fete or fair, whether it's in a school, um, everything. All right. And there's a lot to go through, so I'm going to try and go through it as quickly as possible. So this is primarily about the whole prospecting paraphernalia. There are loads of ways you can run your business, but I'm now going to say this, that possibly as much as 75% of my business in terms of recruiting and gathering customers has come through this means, which is very, very high. I know that, very high indeed. So I've put a heading which is teamwork is dreamwork. And I can't emphasize enough that there are lots and lots of things about doing a 20k giveaway that is so much more than you just gathering a few customers. If that's what you think you're going there for, then you're missing a trick. As I did a Zoom call prior to the one we did at the weekend with the team, and every one of them came back with an answer of, oh, it's about getting some partners, getting some customers. No, 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 no. It's many more things. I think the number one thing, and I'm going to say this, it's about getting used to the fact that there's probably going to be quite a lot of no's. All right. And I think it's a good way of receiving no. And we mustn't, and I really mean this, we mustn't take it as rejection. It isn't. If you went into a restaurant and you had a meal and then the waitress comes around and she offers you the dessert menu, I invariably say no. Do you know what? She doesn't go off and have a pity party. Okay. And that's how you've got to treat it, because a lot of people, it's just not for them. It's not on their agenda. They're there for the day for whatever reason they're there. And do you know what? We're just looking for the people. We're fishing for the people that maybe this could be something that's up their street. Okay. It's a little bit when when people go out and do neighborhood letters, it's not, you cannot have an assumption that it's on everybody's agenda that they're thinking, oh, I must reduce my bills. Do you know there are some people out there that are paying full whack for everything and they don't give a fig. They got that much money, they're not bothered. It's just not on their agenda. And do you know what? Let them go. Yeah. And the people that kind of like, you can see from the word go, their body language. If you ever get this, I call it the hand. It's actually very rude, incredibly rude. But do you know what? Let it go. Do not even attempt to talk to those people. You know, the ones that as you get close, they're coming along, maybe you're on your stand and they come along and they purposefully kind of look the other way. They're doing that on purpose. All right. That's a big hint. Leave them, because there's going to be loads of people that come and it doesn't matter. All right. So how can we bring them over in a lovely, positive way? So I'm now going to say that possibly one of the easiest ways is to what we call slip. The very first one that I ever set up, I had 10,000 flyers. It said, come to stand 10T2 to have a chance to win a mini, because there wasn't a mini, it was a model mini. And we had them, we had the Ideal Home exhibition, putting them in the goodie bags. I had my daughters and her friends outside the BIC, giving them out. And little did we know that this was a forerunner that what was going to come. Now, what these are is primarily something to help them to focus, to think, why should they come? Now, look, I'm going to speak in very plain terms. Most of the public mostly work in jobs and mostly are used to being told what to do. Okay? It's just a fact. They were told what to do from the moment that they were born by parents and elders at primary school, at middle school, at senior school, whether they go to university, whether they go for a job, they are told what to do. And actually, in their mind, that is right and proper. So actually, what we've got to do is mimic that. And the slipping helps mimic it. So you never, please write this down in big letters, never ask somebody, would they like to enter a draw? You will always get no, I promise you. Would you like to win 20,000? No. You will get no. If you ask that question, you'll get no. You cannot ask that question. It's just ridiculous. So what you want to do is, if there's a few of you on the stand, and I purposefully only had four, including myself, so there was four of us each day, and I wanted to maximize the amount of business that we could get. Okay. To me, that is the right thing to do. So we would have two on the stand, and then away from all the other stall holders, we sort of stood at either ends of what we called our aisle, the avenue where all the traders were. And that way we weren't encroaching on other traders. That's a very important thing. And all we do is put on, you've heard me say it, the Barbie smile. Okay, it's by the end of the day, you feel like your face is going to crack because you've got to present yourself that you're happy and jolly. If you look a bit serious or a bit forlorn or tired or any of the other things, do you know what? You ain't going to get anybody come up to you, I promise. So you've got to start off with a smile. You've got to be proactive. You can't be hide behind things. Yeah. So I generally move towards and I kind of almost thrust it at them in a nice way. And I thrust it with the slip so that they can see it. Because do you know what? They are that stupid that most of them believe if they hand this in, they're going to be put into a drawer. I mean, I don't know why, because there's nothing on it. There's not their details. Who's going to contact them? This is what we're dealing with, Joe Public, okay? So take this in a nice way. Take this, it's a command. And remember, they're used to commands. Take this, it's your chance today to win £20,000. Now, they can read into that ambiguity any way they wish, but it is actually their chance today. Doesn't mean it's actually happening and drawing today. Now, we did something better, and we actually had a spin the wheel, something that I've bought, and I invested much to my I bought loads of sweets, the stuff that I'd never give myself or my children, but I bought sweets. I bought sweets and some little mini toys and filled up a goldfish bowl full of these. We had chocolates, we had, you know what we're on about, lollipops, drumsticks, all that kind of stuff. And then the wheel said things like sweet, chocolate, try again, toy, M&Ms. And the child would come over and spin and get a chance to win something. Now, why did we do this? Because do you know what? You just can't believe how easy it is. When they come over, parents follow. We've got time to talk to parents. So what we would do is take it in turns, and I would, like little Johnny, go on then, spin the wheel. And it says he's won a sweet. And I say, great, there you are. Right now, Mum, it's your chance today to win £20,000. And I just pick up the form. You don't even have to give a slip for that. Because the kids bring the parents over. Happy days. How easy is that? But if they were at a distance, we were slipping as well. Okay. In fact, some of the slippers, excuse the expression, slippers, if they were at the end, they would say to those with children, take this, it's your chance today to win 20,000. Oh, do let your son, daughter, if it's okay, they've got a chance to win a toy or free sweets. And you see the kids going, yeah, mum, please take me over. But what it meant was so wonderful was that the parents just in fact, it changed their whole manner to us. You had parents going, oh, thank you very much. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, how nice. And when there were little shows on and they were all sat round watching a show, we would go round and we'd give them out. And I'd say, oh, look, I'm going to give you this. Look, if it's okay with you, your son, daughter, if you allow it, there's a chance for them today to win some sweeties or a free toy. Oh, and while we're at it, we'll put you in the free draw for 20,000. And everyone went, oh, that's brilliant. And you know what? After the show, they'd come over and they'd be queuing up. How good is that? So hopefully that's giving you an idea about how to actually get them to the stand. By the way, the little spin the wheel was not a lot of money, and it was somebody else that told me about it. All right. And I've created something that says spin and win free. All right. And if anybody wants to see it, in fact, I'll put it on the follow up. I'll actually take a photograph of it so you can see, because do you know what? It was quite magical. Right. Now, the next part is about changing it from them coming over to now talking to them. So I'm going to say to you this, I've honed this over 2+ decades. Okay. So first of all, what is the most important thing you've got to do? You've got to get their details. It's no good talking to them and you haven't got their details. That's no good. And please, will you take this on board? Rapport does not mean talking about yourself. Rapport does not mean going off on a tangent and talking about God knows how much and never getting down to what you're really there for is to make an appointment. Rapport is very short, but it can be done well. So I have my clipboard. I've got my bill underneath, my full bill printed out, and I've got some forms. And I say, I fill it in because I can read my writing. Oh my God, I've learned the hard way. Don't let them fill it in. Yeah. So I say right, I'm Lisa. That's why I have a name badge. Transparency. I'm Lisa. And you are? And they say their first name. And your second name is? First line of your address. And then I go straight into postcode. Okay. And then, without further ado, I actually explain what the catch is. They're waiting for the catch. They actually know there's got to be a catch. Nobody gives away £20,000, do they, for nothing? Well, that's what's going on in their mind. So I say to them, I bet you're wondering what the catch is. And you see them go, oh, she's going to tell me. See, now you've fulfilled that thing that's going on in their mind. What's the catch? So I say, right, the catch is that we take your details because the company has to phone somebody. And unfortunately, they don't have a crystal ball. So they actually need at least a telephone number and a name. And they go, oh, right. And I say, do you know what? It's wonderful. I'm saying I'm going to be in the auditorium. I've been seeing this happening for years. This year we're at the Birmingham NEC, about 6,500 of us. Oh my gosh, if I hear the name and I say their name, I'm going to get up on my chair and whoopee in front of all of them. Because do you know what? You're going to win 20 grand, but I'm going to win £1,000. And straight away they go, oh, we better win then, hadn't we? And now you can see there's a bit of excitement. Oh my God, you've made it real for them. It is. And I say to them, and this is truthfully, I say, look, if I do get that 1,000, I've made a decision. I'm going to give it to my chosen children's charity, which is called the Buddy Bag Foundation. And they go, oh, how nice. And I say, right, now let's get a little bit of information from you. So, and then I do this on purpose, guys. I hold my clipboard and I go, are you open to hearing how you can save on your essential home services? And they look at me and they go, yeah. I said, okay. Are you a homeowner? Yeah or no? Would you be interested in an extra income? And they go, yes or no. Now, I've read exactly what's on there, and I've learned actually do that because do you know what? It shows it's duplicatable. Anyone can do it. And then I say to them, right, brilliant. Now look, let's show you why I'm so happy recommending this. And I get my bill and I explain the summary of the front page. And I'll say to them, 4-bedroom house, 6 services. How cool is this? £134.76. That's nuts. I meet people that are paying that just for their electric. Let me show you why I'm happy. And I go through it and I explain it. And then the best bit is I say to them, the best is last. I said, you know, we all spend money everywhere. Well, there's about 100 retailers that have partnered with Utility Warehouse and they give us up to 10% back when we use a special card. And by the way, on my stand, I've got a big cashback card and we point to it and we go, it does fit inside your wallet, by the way, the real one. And we have another laugh. Okay. And then I explain to them, see, look, I don't really live near many of these partner retailers. Nearly all my spending is happening at local farms, filling up litre bottles of milk at the farm, going and supporting local businesses. But then I look at them and I say, have you ever heard the adage, look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves? And they go, yeah. And I say, as you can see, it's meaningful. Do you know what? It wipes out mine and my husband's unlimited mobiles. How cool is that? So then I look at them and I go, how would you like your everyday spending to start eliminating the cost of your services? And they go, yeah. I say, great, we need to meet. And then I go straight over to my diary and I pick it up. Now, some of you will go, oh my God, that's a huge presumption, Lisa. But I'm going to say this to you. If you do it with confidence, if you do it with a bit of like jolly, happy, go lucky, you know, when I say to them, would you like your everyday spending to start eliminating the cost of your services? And they go, yes. Excuse me, is that not? Well, actually, that's a positive. So what's the next assumption? Right, great, we need to meet. I don't say to them, oh, could I give you a phone call to make an appointment? Because I know there's people out there that do that. That's crazy. Why would you do that? Great, we need to meet. Can I tell you that that line is not even from me? That came from Mr. Robert Barras years ago when we first started doing this. And I heard him say it and I thought, that's a good one line. If it works, don't break it. And it's always worked for me. I grab my diary, I open it up, I don't let them see what my diary says. And I generally say something like, look, I'm really busy. So let's see if we can work something out here. Now, if they're elderly, you know what I mean? Silver surfers. I know I'm one of them now. But I sort of say to them, do you work in the day? And they go, no, I'm retired. And then I usually have a joke and I say, every retired person I meet is busier now than they ever were, but they're filling it up with the things they want to do. And then they have a laugh and say, yeah. And I say, okay, so what we need to do is have something that fits us both. And I am really busy and I'm very busy because I'm not just doing this. I've got grandchildren. I've got a mother that I'm absolutely going insane with. I am that sandwich generation that's being pulled both ends. So when I make a meeting with someone to come and show you a comparison on a like for like basis, I need it to be in place. It's not going to drop. I say things like that. There's lots of things I say, but I usually say, look, I want to come and give you a like for like comparison. And then I come out with a phrase which is like, do you know what? I'll come and see you. I'll show you the stuff, give you a comparison. If you like what you see, great. We can help you switch. If you don't, there's no skin off your nose, but at least you looked at it. And they go, yeah. So then I'm down to doing what we call the alternative close. That's worth writing down, the alternative close. The alternative close is called a Hobson's choice. They believe they have choice, but they don't. They have choice of when it suits me. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I say to them, and I've learned, give them three choices, three, not two, three. And I'm looking and I'm going, okay, right, I'm off to Naples this weekend, so it's going to have to be next week. You don't work the day. All right, okay. How about Tuesday? Tuesday the let's have a look what we got here. I'll go. Oh, Tuesday morning, the 19th. I have got most of Wednesday, the 20th, or part of Thursday, the 21st. Any of those 3 days any good to you? Now, what this does is it engages their brain. Okay. Don't you dare ask anybody, are you free next week? I promise you they'll say no. That's a bit like, would you like to win 20,000? They'll say no. You do not say, are you free? This is what you're meant to do when you're phoning people. You are directing their brain to actually think, okay? So let's say Mrs. Miggins says to me, oh, no, Tuesdays are pretty bad for me. And then she's looking at her husband and, yeah, maybe Wednesday. I say, all right, Wednesday the 20th. Yeah. Is that morning or is that afternoon? Oh, oh, well, we often see our daughter in the morning and we look after so and so. I say, oh, well, then the afternoon then. And then they look at each other and they go, yeah. And I say, so afternoon, is that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or 3 o'clock? Three choices again. Or you might say 1:30, 2:30, yeah. And she says, 2 o'clock would be great. So then you think you've got yourself an appointment. No, you haven't. I promise you, you haven't. You've got to consolidate this. So I say 2 o'clock, Wednesday the 20th. If I had £1 for everybody that gives me an appointment and then they've forgotten, there could be a doctor's appointment, or maybe the dog's got to go and have its shampoo, and they have a laugh. Are you absolutely sure? You are absolutely sealing this in. And now here's the one that matters. So then I say to them, because I try and make face to face, always I try. And I say, okay, look, so 2 o'clock, Wednesday, 20th, brilliant. I am coming a fair distance. These days we've got added fuel costs, as everybody knows. And I try to treat people the way I like to be treated. Now I'm going to ask you both, could you please do me that courtesy that I'm bothering to come and I'm going to do something absolutely wonderful for you? In fact, probably by the end of it, you're going to be like most folk. You'll either give me a handshake or you'll actually be giving me a hug. Because do you know what? I'm going to reduce your bills. You're going to get better quality services. You're going to get it on a simple billing platform. And do you know, forevermore, you're going to pay less. How cool is that? Most people are absolutely delighted. And that way, what you're doing is you're really sealing it in. So then I say to them, right, I'll just get a card. Now, I used to give business cards, but I've learned they get lost. So now I use one of the flyers. Okay. The new ones, I like the Cat Dealy, and on the back, it's got all the bullet points. Essential sim, £5. It's really good. And I write it on there. And as I go to hand it to them, what I'm out to do now, if I can, is make contact with them. Now, what does that mean? It might mean something like I kind of touch their arm. They can get away with a lot when you're a woman. I'm very aware of that, yeah. But or shake their hands, and I do it warmly. I don't, by the way, do a what? Do you know what I mean by limp, wet fish? Has anyone ever given you one of those to shake? It's horrible, isn't it? You know that they're not with you. You've built no rapport. I grab their hand, a nice shake. Sometimes I cup it and I go, do you know what? I'm really looking forward to coming to see you. And this is going to be so positive. You're going to be one of the amazing thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that become a raving fan. Now that is an appointment. Soon as they've gone, I am now going to write notes on the back of that form. I'm going to say, she had on a queer hat or something. He had on shorts and da da da. They told me that they were going away in August to so and so. I'm making notes of the things they say because that's my point of reference for when I'm going to see them to remember them. Because by the time you've spoken to lots and lots and lots of people, you forget who's who. I promise you. You've got to have something that helps. That's why I love the latest form, because do you know what? It actually allows you to do lots of that. So you've got your appointment. Now, look, that's what you're doing. And you are there to work. Don't chit chat between yourselves. Don't sort of, yes, of course, you've got to have breaks and that, but you're there to get business. Okay. Now, prior to the appointment, there's stuff that I'm doing. So, like, I've got one tomorrow night and I've already done all my prep. So, I've been on Google Maps, I've put in their address, checked out the property. Make sure it's a nice property, not one where maybe your wheels will be taken off, if you get my drift, because I won't be going on that one. But I'm checking it out. Then I'm going on the postcode finder to make sure that the address they've given me is correct. You won't believe how many people give me wrong addresses. Yeah. Google was great because not only can you see down the road, it actually then tells you the time. So whatever time there is, I generally add about 20 minutes to allow for congestion or things that can go wrong. Okay. What else do I do? Once upon a time, I used to look at the fibre checker. I don't bother now. Straight on to uw.co.uk/quote and do a quote. Actually, do a quote. Sometimes it tells you what their consumption is because it's coming off the national database. If not, I go on to Money Supermarket and I find out what their consumption is. It's invariably pretty good. Sometimes, however, like the one I'm doing tomorrow night, because she didn't seem in any rush to go away from me, and you can pick that up, can't you? I actually already found out everything that she's got. I asked her, who's your broadband? Who's your mobile? Who's your hubby's mobile? And I turned to her and I said to her, the one tomorrow, I said, okay, so your hubby, and she said his name, and I said, oh, what's his mobile on? And I said, oh, how's he going to feel that you're making an appointment? Yeah. How's he going to feel that you're making an appointment with me and he's had nothing to do with it? Is he going to be a bit cross with you? And she went, no, because I'm going to tell him that you're coming and that it's important that you're coming, because she was absolutely convinced I'm going to save her money, and I am. I've done the research. Okay. So there's lots of things we can do. So find out, do the quote, get it all together, the core services. So you'll find out what our energy cost will be. You're going to find out what speeds of broadband there are. If it comes up 6 months free, you know it's City Fibre. Are you aware of that? Yeah. The one tomorrow, guess what? Oh, she can only have what I've got. 11 megabits. Standard broadband. Upload 0.7. She's on Now TV, so I know that's what she's getting at the moment, and we can't give her any different. So I'm offering something different entirely, but that's the story for another day. But there's lots that I'm going to be able to actually do for them. So I get everything prepped, everything ready. Now, tomorrow comes. First thing in the morning, without fail, I'm going to call her. I'm going to ring and I'm going to make out I'm stupid. I'm going to, hello. Hi, Kate. It's Lisa Ware. Coming to see you tonight. Really looking forward to it. Just want to know, is there anything I need to know about parking? because I've got a bit of a monster of a car and I've got to make sure I can park it somewhere. Now, I've looked down the street and everything and I know it's fine, but it's a good reason to make the phone call, isn't it? And then what I will do on that phone call is set the expectation for more anticipation of how worthwhile it is for them to give me that time. Some people say, I don't ring, I'm terrified. Can I just say, if you don't ring or if you send a message, remember a message isn't communication. If you don't ring, you could turn up and they won't be there and you've wasted your time anyway. So you've got to ring, haven't you? Surely. Do you know that some companies like Sky, I know that these companies send like 2 or 3 messages these days, don't they? All sorts of stuff. So we got to protect ourselves. So look, guys, that is prospecting. I suppose you could say Lisa Ware Reed style, but it's adapted over the years. So you may unmute yourself. Please don't ask me about particular instances, just general questions that you might want to ask me in regards to that. Anybody got anything? Yes, Fran.
I know that was for 20K, but I'm in the process of doing neighbourhood letters this week. So if I've booked it on the door and I ring the morning before, obviously I'm not going to ask about parking because I've walked and seen their house and everything. So what would you suggest I ask that morning instead, rather than are you okay for tonight?
I would turn it round on me and say, "Hi, whatever their name is, Mrs. Miggins. Hi, it's Fran here. I'm coming to see you later today at 4 o'clock. Um, I'm just making sure everything's in place because loads of things have happened in the meantime, but I am making sure I don't let you down."
Right.
Yeah. Now that's showing your integrity. Yeah.
I'm
That
just writing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm making. Remember, this is being recorded, and it will probably all
Oh,
be
yeah.
the AI.
Yeah.
Anything else that somebody wants to ask?
Thank you.
I know I've gone through it at breakneck speed, but do you know what? I have found this the best way. Now, look, guys, I'm just going to add in actually, the company produced a presentation, a 20K presentation sheet. Can I just say, I don't care what I'm about to say because I believe in it. I can't think of anything worse because all it does is become a sales presentation, like a flipping double glazing salesman. Whereas what I'm doing is recommending it, aren't I, from my heart, my soul, my integrity. I'm showing them my bill, why I think it's so brilliant, why we have to have a bill. Yeah. That so just to recap, the joining phrase, great, we need to meet once you've shown that bill, and then grab your diary. And I say little things like, oh, you probably think I'm nuts. I've got a flipping handheld diary, yeah. I say, well, the reason is I live rural and the farmers are always doing things and we have electric power cuts. I tell you what, your phone's no good when that happens, when you live in an area that's so rural, you're reliant on Wi-Fi because there's no mobile signal with any company. If the internet goes down, you're scuppered. So that's why I have a good old-fashioned diary. And actually, what I found is lots of people go, "Oh yeah, I have one too. I actually like it because you can see what you're doing." And I say, couldn't agree more. Because the more that you can agree on things, that's called building rapport. So, guys, I hope that's okay. And next week I am back from Naples, so I have got it written in. Same time, same place, 4:30. See you next week. All the best.
Have a lovely time.
Thank you. All the best. Bye bye.
Bye.